Hey everybody, Billy Bob here, and welcome to week 3 preview of Billy Bob's Backyard Podcast. We're working on getting it figures the manual stream is not working. So we're working on that. So I can't imagine what we did wrong here. But we're going to bring in our guests. They're in the waiting room. Let's bring in Acoustic Larry and Buckeye Boggs. So let's see here. There we go. The 3 box. Hey guys, how are you?
Evening.
Evening. Now, all I got to do is figure out for days, 2 days, I got this thing going live. And now, Boggsy, I figured out why you take like 2 minutes as a lead in to before you come on the air because this is difficult from time to time, right?
Yeah, it's always hard to figure out what in the world, especially if you're
What?
flipping from one to another, the different streams that you're using or the different platforms that you're streaming with. So I've never been on this particular one, so I don't know if you wanted me to say it out loud or not. But
No,
um,
that's okay.
hopefully it'll go well for you. You can figure it all out, man.
No, I would. The funny thing is, I was on twice yesterday. No, Wednesday, twice, and everything went great. So let's see what. Oh, damn. Anyway, we'll probably be on YouTube. It doesn't, for whatever reason, it doesn't appear at this point. We are on Facebook. But how you doing?
Good, good.
Jeez,
It's
oh
been
man.
it's been a while, buddy. It's been a while. How you
Yeah,
been?
good. Evie Mux. I know you guys are on you and the Wild Man and the podcast is on Evie Mux, and I am just not intellectually uh, up to speed to do Evie Mux. So I had another friend that's on Restream, and I looked at it, and it looked easy, and actually, it is pretty easy, except this connecting to Facebook here. So
Sometimes it's not the streaming service, it's the actual social media site that could be the issue. We've had difficulties on EVMux with Facebook as well from time to time. So it might not be Restream, it might actually be Facebook that's causing the wires not to cross properly.
yeah, let's see here. Let's try and save that again. But start by. I don't know what. So what's going on in your world? Tell everybody, Bugsy, about what's going on with the podcast. Hey, by the way, hello, Acoustic Larry. Sorry, so
Well, I'm drinking from a water hose now, man. That's what football season's like for me. It's wild. It's crazy. There's been a lot of change happening for me in the podcast, and in my personal life. There's going to be a lot of change happening in the next couple months, and so just trying to adjust to all of this and prepare myself for what is going to be hopefully a good change for me. But yeah, it's just at this point, it's a lot of adjusting and moving pieces around right now for the podcast. So we're about ready to launch several new things. Hopefully, that will take us to the next level. We're in talks with a marketing firm on how to better ourselves. And so there's a lot of moving pieces right now, Billy Bob, that hopefully we'll be able to announce with you to everybody here in the coming months. But
So
not yet, but because I don't want to say something and then it not happen. So, but lots going on, man. And then college football's happening while we're trying to do all of this too, and trying to take advantage of what is a really good Ohio State team yet again.
yep. So you said things happen in your personal life here. What do we are we open to discussion or
Not
not?
quite, not quite. I've had some conversations with um, some advisors, and you come to a place in your life where you have to ask yourself, if I'm going to achieve my dreams, what's that going to take?
Okay.
Right, right. So just at a crossroads, personally, professionally, and some decisions need to be made, and so that's where we've been at last couple months. And so um, yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there when we need to get there. Slow and
Gotcha.
steady wins the race, right?
That's right. So I don't know what I got. It says connect video source and complete post details, and then it won't let me switch. And dang it. Uh, so whatever. I'm monitoring myself here on Facebook and not there. But hey, we're on YouTube anyway. So well, it sounds like there's the potential for a career adjustment and.
Yeah,
Like you said, you got to decide where you're going as far as whether, and I'm just going to speculate. Can I speculate? Am I allowed
sure,
to speculate?
sure.
That, where you're going as far as your professional career in the broadcast business versus being out, a little pun intended, being mindful of where you are today.
Yeah, you got it.
So,
Yeah.
yep, good. So, Mrs. Bogsy's good.
Yeah, Sarah's good. We're again, football season is our busy time. It's the busiest time for me on the podcast side of things, and it's the busiest time for us both because my stepson is a freshman in high school this year. He's dressing varsity here for Delaware Hayes, playing JV and freshman, but dressing varsity. So he literally on Fridays and Saturdays is a part of 3 games. Hasn't got into a varsity game yet, but he's dressing, so which is a huge honor for any freshman to dress Division I high school football in the state of Ohio. So we're appreciative of that. He's doing a really good job playing JV and freshman. Caught his first touchdown pass last week. So plays a little H back, a little tight end on offense, backup quarterback, and then he's the starting middle linebacker for the freshman and the second string linebacker on the JV. So busy time of year for the Boggs household, and yeah, he's doing really good. So that's what. And then of course Sarah started school back up about a month and a half ago already. So well, about a month ago, I guess it was. So she went back to work and is super busy. So one of these days we'll be like Acoustic Larry, Billy Bob. We'll be fully retired
Yeah.
one day, living the
Yeah.
dream, driving
Living
around
the
the
dream.
country.
So,
Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for.
yeah, well, tell us what we should wish for, Larry. Larry actually is not fully
Well,
retired because he's doing
yeah.
little, He's like the wild man. He's doing a little teaching.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm like Rodney Dangerfield. I'm back to school, but not as a student. Yeah, so I'm back to work full time in a well, what they call it down here is instructional assistant capacity. So we're working with the teachers, pulling small groups, aiding in different, different strategic planning to help raise the students' grades and help to get them up to speed, the ones that are running a little behind. So right now, that's taken up some of our time, and so not as much travel, still some. And as I told Billy Bob there last week, we lost our air conditioner last week. So after $4,000 and several days of labor from another individual, now we have air conditioning again. So
Jeez.
there's, oh, well, I'll add this though. I will add this since it's public knowledge in the public forum. Our school received an F last year in grading. So therefore, the state is very concerned and very connected along with our district in helping us to get our kids up to speed. So that's this year's a new, I'll say new management, being new administration, very positive, very proactive. So we're very busy and working very diligently to assist in this process. So it's
Look
part
at you,
exciting,
Larry.
part stressful. Yeah. Look at
Man,
me go.
acoustic Larry out here changing the minds of the future youth of America.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen, brother. So the other thing I wanted to say though, before we got too far along was, Eric, your success couldn't happen to a better person. You're so well grounded. You're a thoughtful, caring person, and you are the work you put in. You're tireless, and I wish you all the success in the world, brother.
Thank you.
You're really doing well, and I think that's a great thing.
Thank
And
you.
the only reason you don't see me more is this event that happened months ago there with the other website, and Mr. Barton just tore my heart out of my chest. And I've been
Yeah.
so disappointed with just with the process, not with any individual, just with how tragic it is. And my heart has been broken, brother. And I look forward to seeing more of you guys clearly. But that's why I'm just not out there as often. I'm just still hurt. I still grieve for his family and other families that are going through the struggles they are right now.
It's a tragedy and on all fronts. And a lot of the folks who um, frequent our podcast also frequent the podcast that Kirk was a part of. And so we got tied in and lumped into some of that uh, on social media with some people, even though we had zero association with the podcast that he helped run. Simply because we had visited and had taken part in some of the chats, and the individuals who liked the OHIO podcast also liked Buckeye Scoop, and we knew that that was probably going to happen, but we stayed very neutral through all of it, and we tried our very best to distance ourselves from any of the negativity that was happening during that time period. I wish nothing but the best to B Moses. I think he's a fantastic individual. I know him personally. Have been a big fan of his, and again, I wish nothing but the best for him. And I am praying for Kirk and for his family, as well as the family of the young man who tragically lost his life in that. But we know that there's a void. There's a void there in Buckeye Nation, and not to not to take advantage of a bad situation, but realizing that I can step my game up even more, and that those of us who care about Ohio State and care about the fan base we can do more. And I just reached a point, Billy Bob, where I couldn't physically do any more. I was working
Right.
about 80 hours a week
Yeah,
between
I couldn't. I'm like, I don't know how you are doing it because I'm trying to, balance a home life and, work in the evenings, and you're coming home from work and you're going right into the studio and you're editing, and hell, Bogsy, my editing is like as simple as I just figured out recently, an app called Double Take, where when I do my videos, I like we talked about a couple weeks ago. Your one guy who was on, he does like 90% of his stuff on an iPhone. I forgot his name, um, but
Red.
he
His
does
name was
Red.
Red. Hmm.
Yeah, Red. So, but now I got double take where actually I did a video a couple weeks ago with at Ace with Yetis, and I could put myself down in the lower box. And before I was like, okay, I turn my phone around because you can't flip on an iPhone, you can't flip screens. And I'm like, oh, am I getting it? I hope I'm getting everything I want to see. Now I can at least do that. So that's my level of technical knowledge. And again, here we are. Um, and while I'm talking to you guys, just kind of what you've done in the past. You're sitting here playing around on stuff and clicking and re-clicking and trying to hit the restream key. And for whatever reason, it keeps saying I need to edit my event details. So I go in, I edit them, save them, and the live button doesn't, is still shaded. It's not coming on. But like I say, with YouTube, you don't have to worry about that. You just got to go to the channel and you can see it.
Right.
But the frickin' Facebook, I don't know. I should have done a test earlier. Who the hell knows? But anyway, hey, the good news is we got this part handled, right? We
Yeah.
got name. And the funny thing is, like your setup with EV Mux, you can run a little trailer on the bottom and you still have your names. I got to do one or the other. And actually, look at you got the Ohio podcast on there too. Eric Boggs, we got Acoustic Larry. I should have just put you as Boggsy, but or Buckeye Boggs or the Podfather. But hey, so let's get to some football here.
Yeah, let's do it.
As Hank Jr. would say, are we ready for some football? Are we ready to party? So we know that this week, at least the way I look at it is, we're playing OU. And a week or two ago, this game didn't have any kind of suspense, right? We're playing a MAC team. The MAC teams, it's like a warm up, it's a starter. But when we look at OU now, they only lost by 3 to Rutgers. Rutgers is a decent team, right? Would we agree? Rutgers is a decent team.
In our power rankings, I think they are 15th or 14th in the Big Ten. According to
Okay,
the
so
college
they're
huddle.
down that far. But Schiano's a good, Schiano's a good coach. But then they turn around and they beat the Mountaineers. I don't even know why the Mountaineers went to Athens, Ohio. Usually you don't do a home and home or a home with
Because
a
they wanted to wear that L is what they wanted apparently.
yeah.
Wow.
So now you got the Bobcats. They're 1-1, and they played 2 Power 5 teams. And does that make it a little more interesting to you? You and Larry. So Eric, you go first, then Larry.
Yeah, it does. I think I would equate Ohio University to a lower level Big Ten team. Rutgers is a very good comparison. They went into Piscataway, New Jersey, lost by 3. That game's in Athens, Ohio. It might be an OU win.
Right.
So this is not a bad football team. Navarro, their quarterback, is a dual threat quarterback. Very good. He's got almost 200 yards rushing already. Um, He will turn the football over, though. I think he's got 3 interceptions in 2 games. He's a great warm up for what Ohio State's going to see when they go out to Washington and they take on that football team, who's got a very explosive dual threat quarterback. So this is a wonderful warm up match for that, to get ready for. And personally, I would love to see Ohio State stomp them, because it was, I think, 15 years ago that Rufus beat up Brutus on the field.
Oh yeah, we were
So
going to talk about that. Go
yeah.
ahead. Yeah,
So
you want to talk about that now?
I just got done posting a video where we wrote a song. We like to write those warm up songs every week for our opponent. This one's called Brutus Brings the Boom. So Brutus is ready for some revenge with Rufus. But yeah, if you're I'm always looking for an edge. I want some I'm always looking for motivation. I guess a good coach would, right? That's my
Yep.
motivation for tomorrow night, is giving Brutus his comeuppance over Rufus from what happened 15 years ago. But no, this is going to be a very good game for Ohio State. If we come out and we blow them out, I think it's kind of like, wow, what do we have here? Like, this is not the type of football team, I think, that is going to look like Grambling State. I'll be shocked if we're up 35 nothing at halftime. I mean, is it possible? Sure. But I think this is more of a team that, in fact, I think Ohio University offensively probably going to score more points than what Texas did, just with that dual threat ability that the quarterback brings to the game. So
Right.
I think this is a good challenge for the defense. A little bit better of a challenge. We'll see if they can continue their streak. They've only given up 1 score in 8 quarters. And then offensively, I want to see the running game improve a little bit. We saw a great improvement in the second half against Grambling State when Bo Jackson came into the game. What does he look like with the ones? I'd like to see if that's possible. Hopefully, he'll get some run with the ones. But offensively, want to continue to see the same things. Defensively, want to see the same things. But this is a better team than what we saw in Grambling State. Obviously, collectively, nowhere near what we saw in Texas. So, what does that look like overall? That's the question here, and it's a night game in the shoe. So, hopefully, that brings a little bit more juice for the Buckeyes as well.
So what do you so it's a night game in the shoe, the first night game since
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yep.
What do we think we're going to see? Are we going to see pyrotechnics? Are we going to see LED light shows? Are we going to see the
Yeah.
smoke and
Yep.
hell's bells that we saw
Yep.
here
I think
last week?
I think that's
Um,
all. I think that's all now a part of their common entrance every game.
and
Um, to go along with the ringing of the victory bell at the beginning. So, which I think Clark Kellogg, is that who I saw, gets to ring the
ringing the
victory?
bell.
Yeah, Clark
Yeah.
Kellogg.
So Larry, I didn't let you chime in. Go ahead. I'm
No,
I'm
it's all
derelict
right.
as
It's
a
great.
host here.
Well, there's so many different things going on, so many aspects. Now, the bell ringing, I think that's amazing. I really enjoyed that. John Cooper, 88 or 89 years old. Wow, that was amazing. For those of us who have been lifelong fans, Clark Kellogg, yeah, he's something special. Uh, Professional basketball, comes back and does broadcasting and just has a tremendous career. Uh, the game itself coming up, I'd say if I was thinking wildly, I would say OU is coming off of I'll call it a sugar high, but they earned it. Don't get me wrong. They're going to come off a sugar high, so maybe they're a little bit feeling full of themselves. And let's hope that the Buckeyes coming off of Grambling aren't, hopefully Ryan Day keeps them grounded, which I'm certain he will. That they don't go into this overconfident, that they take care of business, I guess what I want to say. And the other thing is one of the games I watched last weekend, it might have been the Oklahoma game, but speaking of pyrotechnics and the show for the fans, my goodness, every time there was a touchdown, the fireworks went off. And I don't know if they can do that because of the airport or how close it is to John Glenn Airport there. But I thought that was tremendous. They're shooting off fireworks at touchdowns. I don't know if the Buckeyes ever did that at night. If they have, I'm just not remembering it. But I think that's a tremendous addition to the event, to creating an event for all the attendees and fans there. It's just tremendous. I look for. I don't look for being close, but as always in the beginning, it's 0-0. One of these times I'd love to see Ohio State take the football and just go right down the field with it. I like to see the defense. I like to see them stop the opponent's offense. But every now and then I would love to see Ryan Day win a toss and say, we want the ball. We're going down the field. And, you're going to have to play catch up the rest of the game because we're putting the first one in the end zone. That's my thoughts.
There you go. So what are we looking for? So you said what you're looking for. Boggsy, I look at this as, I don't see, one of the things you guys talked about last week was the pass rush, right? And I don't see this week as being a week that you're going to see a significant pass rush because you got, what's his name, Parker Navarro, the quarterback for OU, who's a running quarterback, or at least a dual threat, right? And so I think they're going to do more contain. What do you think here?
Yeah, I think that this is the type of game where you need to be gap sound, and especially on the defensive line. If it's a pass, obviously, you want to keep them in the pocket. We have such athletic linebackers. Sonny Styles is just a freak of nature. Arvell Reese, especially week 1 against Texas, looked like an absolute predator out there on the field. And then let's not forget last week, the true freshman, Riley Pettijohn. He absolutely textbook decleat tackled a running back, filling the gap. Oh yeah, by the way, recovered a fumble for a touchdown. And then you got the Texan himself, Peyton Pierce, who James Laurinaitis loves. As long as the defensive line is keeping him in the pocket, then your linebackers should be able to take care of any of that offensive going off script that Parker Navarro likes to do in trying to create offense. And the athleticism of the linebackers hopefully will clean up most of that and keep him from getting too many yards by scrambling. I do wonder, though, like at some point, you have to question: is it worth my health to keep doing that? I got a full season of MAC games and a MAC championship that I want to go win. If I'm Parker Navarro, do you really want to chance it by taking off running and absolutely getting your ribs blasted by Arvell Reese or Sonny Styles or Riley Pettijohn or Peyton Pierce? Do you really want to do that? I think that's part of the reason why we didn't see Arch Manning run very much.
So
Texas did not. They don't have a backup, man, worth anything.
And Navarro is their leading rusher. He's the leading rusher on their team.
Yeah.
I mean, he's ahead of the running back. He averages like 6.7 yards a carry. The running back 4.2. They got a receiver. They don't throw for many yards apparently, but hey, I got good news. I haven't figured it out. I can't pull it up on my phone yet, but I did. So I I probably missed a couple comments, but as far as I can see, we're live now on Facebook as well as we're streaming on YouTube. So at least I show um, that that on Facebook.
Yeah, we're on there. I see it now.
Yep, you got it. So look at that. Son of a gun. It only took what, 15 minutes? 30 minutes. We're 30 minutes into the show. I'm going to give myself a little bit of credit here. Perseverance.
There
And
you
I
go.
probably learned it from you, Bogsy. Perseverance. And I told Acoustic Larry, I said the other night, I said, damn it, I am going to figure this thing out one way or the other. Because I was tired of getting my head cut off on Facebook Live. So, the guy at the bottom is okay. I'm getting my head cut off. Geez, oh man. So, God, you got a show tomorrow. Tell us about your show tomorrow. You do a pregame show now.
So we used to do call-in shows on Monday and Thursday night, but
Right.
TG and Mika wanted to start a new show called the Buckeye Ladies. And you know me, I'm always trying to help people get started and going and being a part of the community. And so I said, why don't you take Thursday night and we'll move the other call-in show to Saturday mornings.
Right.
And that was out of response to requests by the community asking us to do something about Saturday mornings because they were so upset with Dave Portnoy getting put in at Fox Big Noon Kickoff, and they don't really like the Saturday morning show with ESPN Game Day because of what's his name there from the state up north,
Desmond.
Desmond Howard. So
what a scumbag he is. You know, Nick Saban put him in his place, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
After
yeah.
the Texas game, he did it. So go ahead.
So we decided to move the second call-in show to Saturday mornings, which typically Chris has been running, but he's unavailable. And I was under the weather Monday night, so he filled in for me Monday night, and I'm going to be taking tomorrow morning. So 10 a.m., we do a 2-hour call-in show on Saturday mornings. And then we also do a live game watch. So during the game, Florida Corey, or Dr. Corey, as we call him, he does play-by-play for everybody, and we hang out, and the chat hangs out with us, watching the game. We turn the game on. I got a TV over here. We turn the game on. I turn the volume down, and we sit back, watch the game, have a good time, talking with each other, talking about the game, laughing, joking, having a great time, and those do pretty well. So
You're like the Manning brothers.
I'm like the Fat Manning.
You're not scrambling like they do.
No, I was like that. I'm like the off. What was it? Jeff Saturday, the center for Peyton all those years. Yeah. I'm like Jeff Saturday. You know.
Okay. Acoustic. You're quiet over there. Of course, you know.
I'm loving it. I'm just basking in the sunlight that you guys are producing. It's amazing.
What are you drinking over there?
Oh, well, a little cactus juice and Coke Zero.
Okay.
But
I got a Billy Bob. Oh, wait, excuse me. A big, beautiful Billy Bob Bud Light, just right. And then I have a little agua with my blinged up Yeti. So I did that all myself. Somebody asked me at work, you know, can you buy them like that? And then Bugsy, you gave one of these away the other night.
I did. I was going to mention that. Yeah.
Hopefully they were as excited as a juice wristband, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you heard the announcement I made the other night that I have on order now the Slim Can koozie, burlap koozies, world famous Billy Bob's backyard. So yeah, the Slim Can will fit either on a Slim Can or it will actually fit. on these because I measured these and they're only an eighth of an inch bigger than a slim can. And so the neoprene, I'm sure, will stretch far enough, an eighth of an inch. I mean,
I was
holy
wearing
guacamole.
I was wearing my Billy Bob's Barbecue hat the other day, and someone said, "Billy Bob's Barbecue, where is that?" And I remember it just came right to my head. Virtually everywhere. Just kept walking.
Awesome. Yeah.
They were like, I'm sure they were like, "What?
Virtually everywhere.
How many locations this guy got? They're everywhere."
Well, at least I'm not like Lucius Q. When we don't really need to go into that much, but you know, my barbecue, I don't say anything too controversial in the wrong direction. Hey, there, you know what? Well, there's a bunch of games going on. You know, we got the Buckeyes at 7 o'clock on Peacock. I mean, could we, for God's sake, could we put a good game on a regular channel and a good game at night? There you go.
So
I got
what you're telling me is I have to subscribe to Peacock for a month again. Is that what you're
No,
trying to
no,
tell me?
hold on, Larry.
Yes.
You said you were working for the schools, right?
Yes.
Do you have a teacher number or ID number, badge number, or anything?
Oh, well, I have an ID number. I don't know what will that tell me how it might help me.
So if Peacock does a thing where they offer teachers a monthly subscription for only $2.99.
Really?
Yes. And since my
Oh.
wife works for the school, she signed up. She put in her badge ID and what school district she worked for and everything. It confirmed it, and it's only $2.99 a month. And I'll tell you, Peacock's not terrible. They've got a lot of pretty good stuff on there. We actually end
Right.
up watching it quite a bit. Actually, we watch it just as much, if not more, than Netflix. So it might be worth you looking into, seeing if you can do that and save yourself some money.
That's motivating.
Yeah.
So the other thing I wanted to ask Eric is, since it's like a what's the time? 7:30? What time?
7 o'clock.
7 p.m.
7. So what time is your pregame? Early in the morning again, Eric, or is
Yeah,
it
yeah, we're still
adjusted
doing.
because of the late start?
Yeah, we're gonna do 10 a.m. every week. That's
Okay,
just gonna be
because
the
of the big noon thing and everything.
Yep.
That way you're in there. Okay. I was just wondering because I'm going to be on board. You'll see me on board tomorrow.
We're a little fish in a giant pond between Fox and ESPN, and we're over here going, yay!
He's a little fish and I'm a minnow because, you know, now I either got to decide whether I'm like early before Eric and then I got to get up early on Saturday and lead into that if I'm going to do Saturdays, because I'm not always going to do Friday evenings because, you know, Billy Bob's got to have a go out once in a while. You know, I got to get my dancing shoes on, you know,
Woo.
and what's the my boogie shoes, like a little Casey and the Sunshine Band, but but I either got to be before or after, and you know, you can't do 1 o'clock in the afternoon because you're like right in the middle of the first half of. But yeah, so you're going to be on 10 o'clock. That's your schedule, 10 o'clock every Saturday. By the way, Portnoy, we love to hate him, right? But was he not actually kind of funny at the Texas game with his little, he had the t-shirt and then he was making some jokes, or you didn't think it was funny at all?
I wouldn't know. I didn't watch 1 second of it.
Oh, I actually, Larry, did you want, go ahead.
Well, I watched the whole game, but I can tell you I didn't watch anything that had anything to do with Portnoy. But I guess the thing is if we win, then everything else is laughable. But if something would have, you know, happened and we'd have lost, I probably would have not liked him even more. I think he's just a little bit too much of a showboat. I guess that's what I'm getting at.
He actually picked the Buckeyes to win.
Yeah.
But he had there was some really funny things in there that he was making light of the so-called ban, which Ross Bjork said they didn't ban him. That was more of a Fox decision for him not to go inside the stadium. But then we had knucklehead Howard with his comments.
Well,
but,
why do they have to be so ridiculously arrogant? But the one thing about Portnoy, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Portnoy the one that used to go out and do the pizza
he still
tastings?
does. Yeah. The
Okay.
one bite.
I watched one of those, and he just totally abused a small business owner, and I really thought that it was like someone punching down on somebody, and it really bothered me that somebody could treat somebody else like that. It's one thing to give somebody a rating and say, yeah, I wasn't really liking it very much, but he just tore this facility up, this entrepreneur, and it was like, it just really didn't settle well with me. So I
Well,
didn't
that's
like
it.
him before the other part
Yeah.
when I saw that.
Well, that's interesting because I saw an interview with him and he said that he doesn't really give anybody a bad review. He kind of, because for the very reason that you're talking about, Larry, that he doesn't want to affect somebody's business in a negative manner. So that's it's unfortunate that he did it in that case. But the interview I saw with him, and it wasn't on a pregame. It was an interview at a different time. But anyway, where are we? We all got you guys all got lives, although Bogsy's life is broadcast.
You're looking at it.
Yeah. So what the hell? Yeah. And Mrs.
I'm
Billy
good.
Bob's in the other
I'm
room.
good.
She's
I'm
Mrs. Billy
enjoying
Bob's.
it.
Thank God he's doing something there, and he's not talking to me. No. And he's not changing my channels. Yeah, and she's like, "You're so quiet." I mean, I got the door closed, and she's somehow she still hears me. I don't know. All right, so let's talk about some games, right? Some games other than the Buckeyes. And so really, Oklahoma Temple, is that a game that we need to talk about, or we don't need to talk about that?
No.
How about the Chips, which my one niece, Nicole, she went to Central Michigan. She fire up Chips. The Chips are playing the Blue. The Blues favored by. Here's an interesting stat. The Blues favored by 28.5, but the over-under is only 42. So that means they're expecting the Chips not to. How does that work? They expect the Chips to score a little bit.
Yeah,
And
like 32-10 or.
Yeah, I mean, so Oregon, Northwestern, who cares, right? We know who's going to win there. It's at with Northwestern, though. Does Northwestern have their stadium back?
No, they're still playing on the lake.
Okay.
Their new stadium won't be ready till next year.
13,000 people.
Yep.
Yeah, Oregon's going to get a big payday there, aren't they? How about Wisconsin, Alabama? Any thoughts on that?
I'm taking the under. I think that I think Alabama, although they looked really good last week against a nobody, looked atrocious in week 1 against Florida State.
Right.
Wisconsin, although has not looked great either, has managed to be Wisconsin, and I still think Luke Fickell is going to put together a pretty good defensive game plan here. I think Alabama wins, but I don't think Bama covers. I took the points here.
So Wisconsin's got a backup quarterback, right? For what, like the third year in a row, their starting quarterback has been hurt.
Yeah.
So the over under is 44.5. The spot's 20. So there you go. Northwestern State, Cincinnati. We're not going there. How about the backyard brawl? Does West Virginia bounce back at home against Pitt?
No.
Pitt's so here's an interesting one, though. They must think they're going to score a lot of points because the over-under is 55.5.
And isn't the spread 7.5?
It is. You're on top of this, Bogsy.
Yeah, I just got done recording with somebody, and we picked 5 games, and this was one of them. So that's why I remember. I like Pitt in this one, Larry. I don't know about you. West Virginia is licking their wounds. If you get beat by 7 by a MAC school, I just don't see you keeping it within 8 or 2 scores against a team like Pitt, who has aspirations this year of competing to get to the ACC championship game.
Larry, what do you think?
Wow. I'm just amazed at some of the things that are going on. Whenever West Virginia looks like they're climbing back up the mountain to establish themselves, they seem to like stumble and go back. It's the old one step forward, two steps back. Yeah, as far as Alabama, a lot of probably second guessing at this point from the fans and all the boosters in regards to their head coach. I suspect they'll stay respectable, but it's painful. You don't replace a legend easily, and it's just going to make Nick Saban look better. And I don't hate the guy. He got a lot of his chops cut here in Ohio. So I give him all the credit in the world. He's a football genius, a motivator also. But my goodness, it they're not looking any better than. Maybe they're top 10 still. Maybe we'll see at the end of the year. But they sure are struggling. They sure are struggling.
So everybody was excited though about Rich Rod, right? Rich Rod coming home.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of like when what's his name went back to Rutgers.
Schiano.
Yeah, Greg Schiano. It took him a solid season to get things going the right way.
It did.
there.
It did. Yeah.
And I think the same can be said of Rich Rod in West Virginia.
And and Eric, sorry to interrupt, but don't you think that, I guess when I think about your comment that since Rich Rod left Ann Arbor, every school he's been at, he has been successvul, right? I think what was the first one? New Mexico State, and then Jacksonville State, and now back at West VU. So yeah, good point. Good point.
If I can interject something, going
Sure.
back to Wisconsin and Luke Fickell. Now, is this his third year there or fourth?
Third, right, Eric?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh well, it's just it's time for them to it's time for the egg to hatch. It's time for them to evolve from his plans, and they are just struggling. I don't know whether this is the thing where college football was difficult enough before, but now when you're adding in the NIL quotient, it is just really making it difficult to turn around a team and turn around a program unless somehow you have a windfall of money to help, to assist. I'll admit it, to assist in doing it. Used to be done by scholarships. Now it's scholarships, and the big part is the NIL portion. What are you guys thinking on that?
Go ahead, Eric.
I agree. As far as the Luke Fickell aspect of that, I can't argue with you or your point at all about NIL. Although I will say this, it does offer programs and coaches the opportunity to turn around quicker if it's available to them and they use it correctly.
Right.
But it can also blow up in their face quickly. As far as Luke Fickell is concerned, when we had the Bucky report on the OHIO podcast, which is the college huddle rep from West Virginia or from Wisconsin, their goal for him this year, due to how difficult their schedule was, because they have the most difficult schedule in the Big Ten, hands down, was just get to 6-6. They looked at 6-6 this season from Luke Fickell as a winning season for them.
Wow.
And then if you see what their schedule looks like next year, they have the reverse. They have the easiest schedule in the Big Ten in 2026. And so that's the year they've been circling for a while now. If we can get to 2026 and build our program up to that point, then we can compete for a college football playoff. So they're not going into this game tomorrow with aspirations of shocking the world and beating Alabama. I don't think that's what Wisconsin has got on the table. If they
Right.
can be respectful,
Right.
hey, we lost by 2 scores and
Right.
we've shown improvement and we're going to get to 6-6 this year. I think that Luke Fickle is going to be fine. But you're right, Larry, that Wisconsin doesn't have the war chest as like an Ohio State, an Oregon, a Michigan, a Penn State, a Nebraska. They don't have that at their disposal. And so they've got to go about this with culture, development, and keeping guys there who want to develop and be a part of the bigger picture. And that's just a very difficult thing to do in our society and culture today when all these kids want gratification immediately.
Yeah. So I'll say this, Bugsy, you brought this up, and Larry touched on a little bit. The yin and the yang of the portal and how you can change. We look back at Mel Tucker a couple years ago at Michigan State. He brought in all these transfers. One year he had a really good year, and the next year they kind of fell on their ass.
Right.
And then, of course, Mel had his issues too. But even Florida State, look at where they were last year, and now they brought in actually 2 years ago they brought in a bunch of transfers. They were 13-0. Jordan Travis breaks his leg. They got problems. They don't make the playoff. And then last year they're 2-11, and this year they go back to the portal and they bring in Tommy Castellanos, and here they are back. Look, they played one big game against Bama, very impressive. Then they played I don't even know who. Oh, a team I never heard of until this year, East Texas A&M. I never even heard of East Texas A&M. So now everybody's beating the crap out of them. And by the way, speaking of beating the crap out of teams, Georgia didn't beat the crap out of Austin Peay last week. And Joel Clapp made a comment that Gunnar Stockton threw the ball 34 times and they only scored 28 points. He said if Julian Sand would have thrown the ball 34 times against Austin Peay, they would have scored like 830 some points. But okay, let's move on. South Florida, Miami. Is that an intriguing game?
If you've got the CW network, what the heck?
Yeah. What the hell? What is that?
Obviously, the schedule makers had no idea that South Florida was going to be 2-0 and was going to beat Boise State and go into the swamp and upset the Gators in week number 2, because this game should be on prime time. Listen, if the Bulls pull off the upset against Miami, mark it down. That's a college football playoff team. I don't care what division they're in. They're going to the playoffs. You do not beat Boise State, who was ranked 25th in the nation when they beat them. You don't beat Florida, who was ranked 18th, 16th, something like that last week.
16th, maybe, yeah.
And then go into the Hard Rock and beat, was it number 5 Miami? If they do all 3 of those things, I think they should just pencil them in for the playoffs. That's your G5 rep right there. I don't care what else they do the rest of the year. They earned it. I don't think it'll happen, but I'm taking the under on this one. I'm taking I do not think Miami covers here. I think the Bulls are going to give them a heck of a game.
Yeah, 56.5.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah.
And what's the spread? What's the spread?
17.5 Miami.
17. Yeah, I think they're going to keep it close. I like South Florida. They're fun to watch, man.
They are. They got a veteran team, right? So they got a very enthusiastic and energetic coach, Alex Golesh.
Who's from where?
Is he an Ohio dude?
He's from Ohio.
Yeah, where's he from in Ohio? Do you
Oh
remember?
gosh, I want to say it was Central Ohio somewhere. Let me look
Okay.
it up for you real fast. But yeah, he's
Okay.
from
While you're
Ohio.
looking it up, I'm gonna say, hey Larry, what do you think about Arkansas Ole Miss? Do you have any opinion on Ark? They're playing they're playing, you know, in Ole Miss, people will be partying in the Grove. So 6.5 and 62.5 is the over under. That's the highest
Really?
over under that of any big game.
I don't know. I just know that Ole Miss the last couple years been strong. Who's their head coach again that they picked up a few years ago, a couple years
Lane
ago?
Kiffin.
Yeah, Kiffin. He's an offensive mind. I I I don't know if I had, put I would put my money on him and Ole Miss at home, and probably I don't know about the over under, but I'd say they will likely cover the spread. I
That's
think.
big. Over under 62.5. That's
Yeah,
huge. That's a
that's
huge
like
over under.
I don't know,
That's
but
no defense.
anything can
Big
happen that could
SEC, no
destroy that.
defense. Sorry, Larry.
Right. No, no,
Right.
yeah. Anything can happen and can destroy an over and under on when it's that high. But I would say I would think they would cover for sure.
Yeah.
They've Ole Miss has looked pretty good the last few years. So
Let's say Arkansas head coach Sam Pritchard, Sam something. Anyway. Any
I hear
thoughts on that game, Bogsy?
Um,
Or should we move on?
Arkansas once a year, Arkansas surprises somebody. Once a
Ole
year.
Miss is 17.
Yeah,
Ranked 17.
I don't think it's going to be this game though. Alex Golish, the head coach from Southern Florida, is from Dublin, Ohio. He's a graduate.
Whoa!
He's a graduate of Dublin Scioto High School and his alma mater, 2006 graduate of the Ohio State University.
What? Alex
Wow.
Golish went to the Ohio
He
State?
went to the Ohio State University.
Whoa. Breaking news. Look at
Yeah.
that. That's big. Good
Go
job,
Bulls.
Bugsy. Go Bulls. All right.
it's pretty wild.
Before I go to this next game, which is Florida LSU, I want to go back just a minute. The Oklahoma Wolverine game. How in the hell, forget about the game itself, but going into the game, how the hell with the blue, what they came off of what, a 7-5 year? Was it 7-5?
8-5 if you count the bowl
8-5, if they count the bowl game.
game.
How did they end up? They were the highest ranked team over Oklahoma. They were ranked 15 versus Oklahoma ranked 18th going in that
Because
game.
Oklahoma was only 6-6 last year.
Well, but but then they got John Mateer.
Yeah, well,
And
Bryce Underwood, Superman. You didn't know that?
yeah, right. But the reality is, and I said this before I heard Klatt say it, you cannot rely on a kid running the ball 19 times a game. It just ain't going to work for a whole season. Mateer ran the ball 19 times.
Yeah,
Now,
not with those defenses in the SEC. That's
Yeah.
a death wish.
so Florida LSU. Who loves Brian Kelly? Oh, not.
Oh my, he's a good coach, but
Yeah,
But-
what? He's a good coach
To
for
a
about
degree.
75% of the
Well,
season.
it's like this. He's good from here to here, but he can't get you here.
And then he's like this, and it shrinks, and then it opens, and it
Yeah.
shrinks, and then it opens. You know what that is? That's a shrinkter.
That's his
He's-
prostate.
that's He's a shrinkter. He's
a shrinkter.
a shrinkter. Yeah, 6.5 LSU, 47.5's the line. They're playing in Death Valley. Any thoughts?
LSU easy. I thought
Easy.
for sure Florida was going to be better this year.
You don't think
And-
DJ Lagway is going to pull it out of his sphincter?
No, sorry. This is going to go one of two ways for the Gators. They're
Yep.
either going to shock the world and go in to Death Valley and pull off an upset, or I think their season's done.
If they
Question
lose,
for
I
you.
would say it's done. I would agree.
Yeah, and that's what way I'm leaning. Question for you.
Okay.
Obviously, if this season goes sideways, they're not going to retain that coach.
No.
Urban Meyer's available. I think they'd take him back.
I
Man,
don't think the fans want him back. You know, I living
I
in
think they would. I think they would change their tune.
but you think Urban I mean, are we just having I hate to say it out loud. I'll just say, are we having mental masturbation about Urban coming back as a coach?
No, but I think
I-
he's the most successful available coach, not named Nick Saban, who's also not in his 70s.
Well, he ain't coming back either.
No, Nick Saban's
Well-
72 years old, 73.
Yeah.
Urban Meyer's what, 61?
I don't know, but you know, living in Florida, and maybe it's softened a little bit, but when Urban went to Ohio State, they always called him Urban Liar, and they hated
Yeah,
Urban.
it's what they called him. But then what's happened since he left?
no, yeah, they've stunk ever since.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
think that those glory days of Urban winning 2 national championships in the swamp. I think all of a sudden those are the good old days that they want back again.
Well, he won one for I'll say this. He won one because he had a good team. He was a great coach, but he also won one because we were dumb enough to jump on Ted Ginn's back and break his ankle.
Yeah.
And Troy Smith went on the banquet trail and gained 10 to 15 pounds. And you can't run away from those edge rushers when you're, porked up. But by the way, we got Marjorie Irish Linderman watching. We got John Dolphin, Laura Peters, Murray, and
Yay.
Cade Stepp. And Patrick Green says Brian Kelly equals James Franklin. And I know you
100%.
love James Franklin, guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of love there. As I
Extend his contract. Extend that contract.
Hey, I got
Give
one
James
last
Franklin
game.
a lifetime clause.
Yeah. Like Santa Claus, he needs a present. Okay, I got one last game. And this is really kind of adjacent to the Buckeyes. And this is the problem with Peacock. Peacock is an app. So if you don't have 2 TVs, you got to go out of the app and go over and watch this game on the regular TV, or you got to have 2 TVs. You got to have one on the Buckeyes and one on Texas A&M, Notre Dame. Now, a lot of people say Notre Dame has a weak schedule this year, but they played LSU. They're playing A&M. I think they got a couple other games to me that are tough, but specifically this game, A&M, they're playing right under the shadow of touchdown Jesus.
Well,
Eric, you first, and then let's go acoustic Larry. I've been going Eric first. Let's go acoustic Larry first.
real quick, they lost to Miami that first game. Notre Dame did.
Yes. Oh
Not
yeah. Did I
LSU.
say they were 2-0?
No, you said they lost to LSU, which
Oh,
Brian Kelly.
my
You had the
bad, my
Brian
bad,
Kelly
yeah.
connection, yeah. So
Yeah, my bad. Yes, they lost to Miami, and I think they could have won. And by the way, I'll tell you a little story here in a minute. Go ahead, acoustic.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I just know I watched that game. It was a well played game. They played tough, and this is Notre Dame. They played tough. They came up short. But I really think at home, they can make things happen at home. I mean, they're a very good team. They're very solid. So I look for them to rebound and have a very successful season. I would not be surprised whatsoever. I mean, they're clearly going to be within the top 12, and it's quite possible by the end of the season they could be in the top 5, top 6, something like that.
Boggsy?
yeah, wash, rinse, repeat. Everything Larry said, ditto. I agree. I do not see Notre Dame falling to 0-2, and if they do, they are in trouble of being getting removed from the college football playoff, because at the end of the day, since they're not in a conference, they're not going to have the opportunity to win a conference championship to say, hey, it doesn't matter what happened in the non-conference games, we're in. And so all that the committee has to go off of is those 12 games that they play. And now 6 of them are against, like you mentioned, Billy Bob, teams that have no shot of making a college football playoff. And then you have the ACC teams sprinkled in there. But they're 2 big opponents this year. Their 2 marquee games were the first 2 games, Miami and Texas A&M. They lose both of those, it's going to be really hard for Marcus Freeman to make an argument that they deserve to be in the college football playoff. So that being said, they kind of have their backs against the wall here, and I just don't think that they're going to lose this one in a setting that kind of feels almost like it did last year after week number 2 when they lost to Northern Illinois. We can't lose another one, right?
Right.
So, and that's how they played well last year. It's kind of how I think they're going to play well this year. Now, the difference is they've got Coach Ash as their new defensive coordinator. Of course, he was the DC for Ohio State as well back in the day before he went to Rutgers and fell flat on his face, and now he's trying to rebuild his reputation as a coordinator. And let's see what adjustments they've made in the 2 weeks since they went into Hard Rock and lost to Miami. I feel like we're going to see a different Notre Dame team here. I kind of like them in this game. So whatever the points were, I don't remember what the points were that they were.
6.5.
6.5. I think they win by 10 or more.
So he was also the DC at UCLA or USC for a couple of years.
Was he?
Till he got fired by Lincoln Riley. So I think CJ Carr will play a better game. He played a pretty good game against Miami, but he
didn't look bad. He
made 2 glaring mistakes where he threw the ball away twice, and he got 2 intentional groundings where you got to do a better job. But anyway, I didn't realize CJ Carr was one of my friend's grandson until the game was being played. And Tom Curtis, who's been a friend of mine for like 20 some years, he's from Solon, Ohio, but he's a trader. He went to the Blue and he roomed with Jim Mandich, and then he went on to pro football, but that's his grandson.
So, but that's
he's married. Carr. His daughter is married to Lloyd Carr's son.
Ah, okay.
Hence the last name Carr.
Yeah.
But CJ stands for Curtis Jason Carr.
How about that?
So there you go.
So at least he didn't go to Michigan, right?
Well, he actually wanted to, but he said they kind of blew him off. They kind of ignored him because his family still lives right there near Ann Arbor, adjacent to Ann Arbor. So anyway, guys, I don't have a one of those bags, for your bladder. So I actually have to pee. So we're an hour and 8 in, but I gotta pee. So we're gonna end this thing. You just gotta say it like it is.
What's your score prediction for tomorrow night?
You wonder if I've been wiggling and waggling. What's my score prediction?
Yeah. I'd like to hear you guys' score prediction for tomorrow for the Buckeyes.
Mine, it would be 55-7.
All right.
Larry?
I don't even know what to think realistically. I would like to say like a 42 to maybe, I don't even want to say 17, like a 42-13 maybe scenario. 42-13.
I'm between both of you. I'm at 52-10.
Okay. And I don't even know how you get to 55, but I said it.
I like it. That's a nice good number.
Right, there you go. So, all right, everybody. As I said, I got to go. So literally, everybody, thank you for watching. Sorry for the delay. We'll get it all worked out. This was what I called a soft launch. Bugsy, thanks for joining. Acoustic Larry's been helping me out with some testing. And thank you very much. And as we end every show, Go
the
ahead.
audience also. Thank you for everybody
Yes.
that's watching.
And I know you end it with an OH, Bugsy, but as I end every show, and it's even more important this week, America, land of the free because of the brave. Stay focused, America. Billy Bob, peace out. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.